This was quite an entry. About 5 miles out, we saw the visibility going down. It was worse and worse. I would say less than half a mile visibility, so very poor, as we would say. We came in here. Once you're on this track here, it's basically following in. There's no obstacle. We definitely have to work on our relationship with poor Fred. Today, once again, we forgot to fit the beaching wheels, and again we end up dragging and carrying Fred up the beach. We're close to low tide, and Fred needs to be on the dry when the water is high. Today we take you on a hike to the northwest of the beautiful island of Tiree. The plan is to visit the mystic prehistoric ringing stone and the Broch of Dun Mòr from the Celtic Iron Age. The first part of the track to the western shore of the island leads us through some pretty boggy terrain. Carefully, we navigate our way through the standing pools to avoid filling our boots. I hated every step, but Catherine was on a mission and she rarely gives up once started. So far, it's only outside. It's very boggy here, water all over the place, and I hope we can just get to some higher grounds where it's a little bit more dry. Over there it looks better, but in here in motivating myself to carry on, I developed my theory of why it was so boggy here. So here we go. The island is very flat, and underneath a thin layer of soil there is a bed of hard and impermeable gneiss and metamorphic rocks shaped by the glaciers of the Ice Age. There are many dells in the bedrock, now filled with peaty soil, and rainwater is unable to escape. This, at least to me, explains the boggy nature of the area. Right over there, in the mist on the horizon, we can spot Barra, the tops of the mountains. That's where we're going tomorrow. This large cup-marked boulder left over by the glaciers after the last ice age is known as the Ringing Stone. I hope one can hear the ring. This mythic monument probably dates back to the late Neolithic or early Bronze Age, some 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. The surface is littered by 53 round holes of different sizes. As a glacial erratic, the boulder from far away is very different to the surrounding rocks. When you hit the round holes with a small stone, you can clearly hear a faint ringing noise with a different tone for each of the holes. To me, this explains why this was such a special place to the people of the time and probably played an important role in their rituals. Only a stone, but it was worth all the pain of getting here. Thank you, Catherine, for insisting. You were right, as always. Time to take a break from the strong winds on this rugged coastline. We warm up with a tea and some homemade sandwiches and enjoy the sun behind the protective rock. On our way to the Broch of Dun Mòr, Catherine finds a vertebrae on the beach, which is now part of Polaris' collection of beach finds. We believe it originates from a dolphin. Do you agree? A broch is an Iron Age roundhouse style structure built from dry stone. Even today, the purpose of these buildings is unclear. While some archaeologists believe they were defensive buildings, others believe they were stately homes of the upper classes. Whilst the area had been inhabited since the 3rd or 2nd century before Christ, the Broch of Dun Mòr was built around 60 AD and inhabited for 200 to 300 years thereafter. Excavations at this particular broch showed 2 outer lines of defense and on the north side of the entrance passage there is a small side chamber of a type usually called a guard cell. Additionally, it is built in an exposed location, protected by cliffs and the sea from 3 sides. To me, the Broch of Dun Mòr seems to be a structure with excellent defensive features, and defense must have been an important purpose at the time of its use. Often, whilst exploring new places, we think about how life would be there for us. And seeing this jewel of a tiny house, this is definitely a place we love. Tiree is the most westerly island of the Inner Hebrides. It has a population of 650 and can be reached by ferry or airplane. The low-lying land of this small island is very fertile, and small-scale farming alongside tourism and fishing are the main sources of income for the islanders. Tiree is a very popular destination for all types of surfing. Sometimes referred to as Hawaii of the North, the Tiree World Classic surfing event is held here. Surely a great surf, but given the summer water temperatures of around 15 degrees Celsius, certainly not for the faint-hearted. Our way back to Polaris leads us along the 4-kilometer long horseshoe-shaped beach of God Bay. Another beach that reminds us of very different places in the world, and certainly not what we would expect up here. Taking Fred back to Polaris and pushing into a force 6 wind and swell not only tests the limit of our electric outboard, we get our fair share of water too. But in the end, we enjoy a beautiful sunset after an exciting day out on terra firma.